You know make some nice, man? Listen, Mr. Man, no stand up stiff like on a drop in a starch. The Bible said David did dancing in close tear up. We're not tear up, but close tonight still. But we are going to worship Jesus. Somebody bring me Bible, come give me, let me be one. He said the Bible, love me Jesus. Love me one, love me one, love me one, love me one. Holy mama, beg you, run ya, bend low, bend the mommy back, quabba. Me say me Bible, love me Jesus. Somebody bring me Bible, come give me, baby. I'm Minister Jeremy exactly, so watch him. Read out the Bible. Read out the Bible. Oh, you got me well. Hold on. I'm grateful to have Lisa, but yeah, I'm know that girl a long time. When I see her since the musician said they will bring one singer to come sing with Coco. I want to see her. It was Lisa, yes, bad singer. Back in the days at Jamaica, she used to sing with a group. Flames of Glory, you know what I mean? Flames of about 4 young ladies. Yeah, 4 young, them bad like that, you know. And we was the kings and shepherds, 4 man, 4 woman. So, at least I know me here tonight, because I normally have 4 backup singers, so we don't have to go help with. So now I'm going to say, read one verse. After 3, 1, 2, 3, say. The Bible, Lord. Oh, the Bible. Oh, Revelation. Oh, King David. Not so bad. Luke and John. Somebody bring the Bible. Go give me the Bible. We say the Bible. The Bible, love me Jesus. Walk out. Please tell me Bible. The Bible love me Jesus. So can I take you way back tonight? Way back. To good music. When we used to listen. When we was a boy. Isn't it strange how princesses and kings
search me, oh God, I know my heart, I pray, try me, oh Savior, no. See if there be some wicked ways in me, cleanse me from every sin and set me free. Oh, if you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take away from the poor man and you leave them just to suffer, oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you must learn the searchlight inward. If you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. Oh, if you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take away from the poor man and you leave them just to suffer, oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you must learn the searchlight inward. If you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. Oh, if you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take away from the poor man and leave them just to suffer, oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you better serve the searchlight inward. And if you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. Search me, oh God, I know my heart. Yes. Try me, oh Savior, know my thoughts, I pray. See if there be some wicked ways in me. Oh, cleanse me from every sin and set me free. If you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take away from the poor man and leave them just to suffer, oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you must learn the searchlight inward. And if you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. Oh, if you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take away from the poor man and you leave them just to suffer, oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you must learn the searchlight inward. If you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. it is. Live right. Come on, preacher man. Come now, preacher man. Live right. Walk right. Talk right. Do the will of God. 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 Live right, the Lord. Walk right, the Lord. Talk right, the Lord. Come on, preacher man. If you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take away from the poor man and you leave them just to suffer, oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you must turn the searchlight inward. If you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer.
And a good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'll be with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 6 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on the spine side of Grenada. Folks, remember to like and share the live. Yep. Saying good night to those of you joining us via 91.9, 91.5 Real FM. It is a Monday night. So you say a special good night to the listeners joining us via that frequency. Also those of you in Brooklyn on 94.9 We Noise Radio. Yeah, don't blame me, those of you in North America, because your time has changed. Don't blame me.
I must be His presence near me.
Teresa, you get catch?
And His arms around me thrown. Then my soul shall fear no need. Let Him lead me where He will. I will go without a murmur, and His footsteps follow me. Then my soul shall fear no need. Oh, let Him lead me where He will.
Just making sure everyone gets in.
I will go.
As usual, we have a lot to speak about tonight. This has been an interesting weekend. And folks, we're roughly 1 week away from our first anniversary. Yes, the 1 year anniversary of Talking Points, yeah. We started 1 year ago next week, yeah. 1 year ago next week. Nelly said last week, no, it's next week. Yeah, so those of you in North America, remember, yeah, you had to check your timing. Remember to ensure that you're subscribed to the Talking Points YouTube page. Don't worry, you can safely subscribe. No one will see that you have subscribed. We know some of you have to be very careful considering the victimization that's taking place, so you have to be kind of careful. So remember to like and share.
To the end of the journey, weary of life.
Yeah, some of the elder folks asked me to give them a little gospel every now and again. So I'm going to start the week, every week I'm going to start with a little bit, yeah?
Carrying the staff and the cross of redemption.
Good night to Mr. Hudson McPhail and Mrs. Marine McPhail. Good night to both of you. Good night to you, Mommy George. Good night to you, Cammy.
When the day is done, when the day is done, and the shadow fades away. Oh, when the day is done, when the day is done, and the shadow fades away. Oh, when the day is done, when the day is done, and the shadow fades away.
My good friend Ibrahim Jassant, good night to you.
Thou great Jehovah, pilgrim through this land.
And let me see who's on the YouTube.
When the day is done, when the day is done, oh, when the shadow fades away. Oh, when the day is done, when the day is done, oh, and the shadow fades away. Oh, when the day is done, when the day is done, and the shadow fades away. Oh, God, Jehovah, great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. Lord, when the day is done, when the day is done, and the shadow fades away. A preacher man, do not bother carry, do not bother carry your soul to hell. 'Cause if you preach like Paul and not live the word, you will suffer like David did. Hey Christian, no bother carry, do not bother carry your soul to hell. 'Cause if you love go to church and not live the life, you will suffer like David did. Hey sinner man, do not bother carry, do not bother carry your soul to hell. If you're not go to church and not accept Christ, you will suffer like David did. Hey preacher man, do not bother carry, do not bother carry your soul to hell. 'Cause if you preach like Paul and not live the word, you will suffer like David did. Jesus on the telephone, tell him what you need. Jesus on the telephone, tell him what you need. Jesus on the telephone, tell him what you need. For you. Someone silver and someone gold, but I want Jesus way down in my soul. Hey! Jesus on the telephone, tell him what you need. Jesus on the telephone, tell him what you need. Tell him.
Yes, and we're going to open the phone lines in a short while.
Tell him.
And you all know the number, 440-7377.
Tell him.
know, usually on Mondays we give you the opportunity to call in, huh?
Someone silver and sun.
347-329-3101 for those of you in North America. A special good night to you, Patricia and Matthew, out there in Canada. My good friend Ian out there in Canada as well. All the Canadian listeners, a special good night to each and every one of you. Mr. and Mrs. Watts, hope that you all had a safe trip, eh? Nice. I know that you're listening.
Jesus lay down in my soul.
Zingo, good night to you. Perron, good night. All right. Folks, yes, as I said, the phone lines are open. Let me just say a special good night to those of you under the YouTube. I see Agnes Henry, Wilfred Atoy, Kathleen Ledlow, Jacinta Livingston, Gavin Thomas, and Andrews Emerson Edmond. A special good night to all of you. Deborah Laborde, Maud Martin, and let me say a special good night to Zayla. Zayla, good night to you. Good night to Zoe. Yeah, good night to Exalia. Good night to all of you. Deshaun, good night. Right? Nice. And let me see who else is here. Maud Madeline, Jenny Samuel, Baby Daddy, Jenna Benjamin, Janice Mitchell, Errol Bonaparte, Phyllis Mitchell, Sherma Jeremiah, Gemma Warwood, Claude Abraham, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant. Good night to you. Faithlyn Holly Douglas, Michelle Alexander, Anna Lewis, Hermina Batiste, and Jackie Raymond, Mayana Julian, Esther Frederick, Faithlyn Holly Douglas. A special good night to you, my dear. Marilyn Ferguson, I know you're there, my dear. Christine Otley, Jessie Sherry, Wendy Telesford, Elsie Peters, Matthew Boyne from Brooklyn, good night to you. Dominic Leroy, Vanessa Lalji, Kathleen Knight, Roland Batiste, Dolores Redhead, Miriam Boyne, Cindy Thomas, Ron Julian, Amanda Moses, Brother Watson, are you there? Gertrude Abraham, good night. Lona Lolo Williams, Lona, good night. Clive Raymond, Eliza Bernard, Teddy Bear, good night. Peter Andrews, Harrow, good night to you. And Jacinta Alves, Good Life, Cynthia Bartholomew, Jocelyn Matheson, Kim Creedland, Chief Camahon, I see you there. Raphael B.J. Williams, good night. Stephen Simon, Kenisha Licorice, Carib Spice, London Gordon, Daisy Andrew, Oswald Belfon, Yolanda Pariag, Veronica Lois, Sandra Pascal. I know Xavier is listening. Kenisha Licorice, good night to you. Dolores Redhead, yes, I think I called you out already. Beverly Cambridge, Anne-Marie, good night to you. And let me see, Dominic, Kathy Albert, good night to you. Natalie John, Fitzroy Philip, Anastasia Peterson, Hazel John, Kenny Buckmeyer, and let me see who is over quickly on the Facebook. I'm seeing Sherry Noel, Veronica, let me see, who's that again there? Sherry Noel. I'm seeing Small Axe, good night to you, bro. Sherms Houston, Andrea Andrews, right? Yeah, let me see. And we have our first caller on the line for tonight. Yeah, we're taking the calls as they come in, man. Let me just make sure, once I'm doing that, is where it's coming in on. All right, nice. And I think we should have the call online. Hello, good night. Hello.
Good night, Shalon. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty fine.
All right.
Cloudy and weathery. Good night, talking points. Shalon, two things quickly. I've been reading up on this National Sports Council and the requirements of it.
Mm.
I want the people that really draft this bill and putting this thing into law know what they're doing. They're treading on grounds, uncharted grounds. Because in my understanding, if I read this thing properly, they are trying to say that anybody that wants to use any grounds, once it's under the ownership or supervision of the Grenada government, it has to go through them. So which means rallies, festivities, anything political parties will be having, they have to go through them.
My brother, I have the bill right in front of me. I have the SR&O in front of me. I'll explain it in a while. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Right. Because we tend, what I realize is government is doing, They are drafting bills and enacting laws that will make, like for instance, if they hire somebody, if they lose the election as a government and they lose the other office with, let's say, all the seats, people that they hire, it will be very hard to get rid of them. I noticed that. Grenadians pay attention to this thing, right? And the ministers that are signing these things, they are doing so, I don't know if they're doing so vindictively or they are doing so knowingly, but we are treading on dangerous grounds. Pay attention, Grenadians. Secondly, this bridge on the airport that everybody seems to be making a whole set of noise because one MP talk about it, and an MP basically is who you have to thank for having these things in them. They're getting on like if that is the only improvement the airport had. Sheldon, I remember that when I was traveling back and forth, like from 2012 back and forth, St. Vincent, Jamaica, Trinidad, coming Grenada back and forth, we also had to digitalize the scanner to read your passport. There are things in the airport that has changed way advanced prior to NDC 2013, right? So the airport was being modernized long, right? A lot of things is happening and we failing to realize these things happening because we so get accustomed to getting nice things. We forget it's under NMP these things was done. But right now, all we have is, I said, the pilots, and what I will call them, I said, the bandits in jackets. Talking points, have a good night.
All right, my brother. Yes, as I said, I'll get into that one in a little while. I have seen for the entire day today, I have seen the back and forth behind various people as relates to the bridge, the airport, the jet bridge at the airport, and some people saying wonderful job to the present administration, some people saying wonderful job to the past administration. Let me say this. It doesn't make sense having conversation with somebody if they can't even tell you which country gave the loan and how much money was given for that project. They obviously don't know what they're talking about. We've got a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Scott.
Hey, how are you doing, sir?
I'm all right for the time being.
All right, you go right ahead.
Yes, I want to first of all congratulate the NMP team for the Prime Minister and the two women for the address that they made in trying to get us to understand a little bit of what went on in Parliament. In other words, talking out a little more. No, I think the wait was too long, and it is welcome now, and I think they have done a good job. Miss Kate Lewis, Miss Pierre, and the Prime Minister, the opposition leader. I thought they did a very good job, and we need more of that. Feed us with more information. If you want us to be soldiers for you out there, you have to feed us with the information. I don't know if you saw it, Mr. Scott, listening to Callister some time ago with Mr. Humphrey on a program. She was trying to tell Mr. Humphrey, or trying to get him to see that they have left off, the political leader is having series of meetings, and he left off Mr. Peter David. And luckily, Mr. Chester is not the kind of person that could just put things on his throat. He was able to explain to her that Mr. Peter David is the candidate and have won his seat in the town of St. George, and he's the parliamentary representative. And he have seen him in activeness with the party. And then the Sunday that they had the thing in Guelph, you would have seen all of them. Mr. Peter David, Miss the two women, for that matter, all the women were there. Miss the one in Victoria, Miss Clarice Modest, and all of them were hugging in one line with the political leader. But she was preaching this narrative and trying to give the impression that, they're leading off Peter David in those things. And it doesn't look good painting those kind of pictures. I think we have to speak out when those things happen much. Because she was saying that on her program, and she was interviewing Mr. Humphrey and trying to get Mr. Humphrey to commit himself. But Mr. Humphrey, the man that I don't think nobody could tie up Humphrey. He's well trained in his saying, right? And he was able to point out some of the clauses or some of the things that he see with the minimum wage. And while I recommend a minimum wage, I think that we lack in some certain things. And we have to first of all place the minimum wage on the economic situation in Grenada. Otherwise, the minimum wage wouldn't work. And I'm glad for minimum wage. I'm glad that something is done about the smaller class of people salary. But we have to be very careful because the minimum wage have to be balanced with the cost of living. And it, to me, doesn't seem to be working. Because if the minimum wage can't meet the cost of living, it means that a lot of things wouldn't happen. For instance, if farms and business places may not be able to employ the amount of people. Estates and farms will not be able to pay those kind of money to keep workers. So we have to be careful. But we definitely need the minimum wage. But it have to be balanced up with the cost of living, economic development. If we don't have the economic development, I don't think the minimum wage is going to make that difference. But it is needed. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. And you see, the thing is this. I didn't see that interview. But you see, now that you've seen it, and you've spoken about it here, it has now been taken to the audience over here. Yeah? So sometimes, we help people to spread their false narratives. So we have to be careful with that because some people, they look for the opportunity to spread their false narratives. And by opening ourselves, sometimes we give them the opportunity to help spread their false narratives. When we know that every activity, you see the entire NNP team there. Yeah? Sometimes in Parliament, a member may have something that they have to do, so you may not see members. Of course, Mr. David, Honorable David, is a lawyer. And from time to time, he's very occupied. And I could tell you, as I always say, poor people, children, he defending in the court. So sometimes he has a matter, and he can't escape that particular matter. He has to be there instead of being at Parliament or instead of being at a different activity and so on, in preparation for and different things like that. So if people want to spread their false narratives, what we should do is not help them spread their false narratives. That's what I have to say about that particular one. We will be discussing the minimum wage a little more extensively very soon. Now, I was saying earlier that when it comes to the issue of the jet bridge, I see some people jumping up, oh, this government is so, the present government, the present Deacon Mitchell administration, that, they have so much foresight and all this sort of thing. Now, the thing is, you have a project that came about in the year 2020. The sod was turned for the airport project, some $67 million US, yeah, for the rehabilitation of the Maurice Bishop International Airport. Not just a jet bridge, but you also have the creation of the turning area, and so I think they was speaking about a taxiway. That's the other sort of, well, it's not a runway, but a taxiway, the turning area, the resurfacing of the runway and different things like that, along with what you're seeing now, the jet bridge. So it's not just add a jet bridge and this government coming in and add a jet bridge. The sod was turned for this in October 2020. Who doesn't want to hear that? I can't help them. These are the facts. Some people want to create their own facts, but you can't create your own facts. The facts are just that, the facts. This project, when it was initiated, the same NDC, inclusive of their deputy leader, the same NDC were the ones out there cautioning and saying, why is the New National Party going into this loan arrangement with the Chinese? Why are we going and take all that money and NNP taking this money and that could have been used to do something else instead, build a hospital with that? All these things they were saying. They had the worst to say about that particular project. They had the worst to say about the fact that we were taking a loan. And worse yet, they had the worst to say about taking the loan from the Chinese, because in their words, at that time, the Chinese, according to them, were predatory. That they were giving these loans, countries were unable to pay the loans, and then they go end up with the Maurice Bishop International Airport and who know what else. These were the things they were saying. So when you see supporters of the New National Party now giving them a piece of their mind, is because they remember all of this. It is because they remember what these people were saying about that very same project that they are now praising. So when people call out hypocrisy, when people call out that sort of behavior, when people call out where people 1 minute something is bad under the New National Party, but when the exact same thing happens under the NDC administration, they consider it good. That's hypocrisy, and you can't be upset with people for calling out hypocrisy. I've been watching the back and forth all day. We've got a caller online. Good night.
Shalom, good night. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm quite fine.
Even they want to capture the Six Sense Hotel. You remember what they did with the Six Sense Hotel in St. David?
Well, I see the
You remember what Adrian Thomas did down there? He bring down the whole crew to demonstrate against the hotel in St. David, saying that a mangrove and all kind of thing. And they want to take control of it now too?
Well, then
everything this government want to take control of. Where they was?
What I would say
what they know about the airport? What they know about all this project belongs to NNP. NNP is the one that initiate all this project. Any fool could see that. Any blind, NDC just come in office, they could initiate this project in a year. They cannot initiate. Grenadians, open all your eyes. Open it. And be careful. Tell NDC go and pack up and leave. They're wasting Grenadian time. They don't realize the amount of people that balling out here. The amount of people. Open all your eyes, Grenadian, and get to vote this government out. Thank you.
All right, brother. Okay, folks, just remember 440-7377. So I'm saying here, what I'm saying here are only facts. Yeah? So now you see the jet bridge and all of that come. And you have a guy that keep running about and talking about implementation rate, and so on. The project had been started. The contractors were already contacted when they came into office. This project was already on the way. The bypass road that now takes you down to Sandals and so on, instead of you having to pass in front of the airport. All of that is part of this general project. So don't let them they want to be upset because you're talking and you're saying, you're speaking the truth. We have a caller. Good night. Hello.
Hello.
Hi caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
Good night. The people
Just
who are
load the volume in the background first, please.
Sorry.
It's
Let me just
throwing me off, yeah.
The people who are claiming rights for data work in the airport. How long since NDC is in office? They have to take that into consideration. How long NDC is in office? How long did it take to get it finished from start to finish? Is it less than an NDC period now, or is it longer than NDC period? I mean, people must use their common sense, and don't let your pressure go up for the stupidness, because that is just stupidity. Because this take a period of time, and NDC was not in office when this thing was initiated. Thank you.
Okay, my friend. And the thing is, let me say that to many of you, because see, many of you, and you heard what the caller just said, don't let your blood pressure go up. If you all realize, on my social media, I've shared what you heard from the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters. I've shared what she said in relation to this project, which is very true. And you have to understand, this project was conceived by the former government. This government is in office. They had an opportunity. They had an opportunity either to stop it or to allow it to continue. They've allowed it to continue. Congratulations for allowing the project that was conceptualized, that the funding was secured, that the implementation began under the new National Party. Thank you for ensuring that these aspects are being completed, because the entire project is not completed yet. There are many other changes you will be seeing at the Maurice Bishop International Airport. But of course, we are coming up to Budget 2024. They have to read the budget within the next 6 to 8 weeks. You're going to hear an announcement either this week or next week. You will definitely hear an announcement that budget day is so and so, whether the end of November. I'm beginning to think now it may be the beginning of December, but you will be hearing the announcement of the budget day. Right? Now, they need something to talk about. What is, for instance, what are the different MPs going to come and speak about in their budget presentation? When it comes to ministries, what are they able to say? When it comes to their constituencies, what are they able to say? Yeah, for instance, let's look at St. David, the Prime Minister's constituency. Outside of the WASH program, and I hear it's 1.5 hours, I think he even finished, but outside of the WASH program, what has he done for the people of St. David? Except jump up on a speaker box and say, all you had the Prime Minister. Outside of that, what has he really done to affect the change and change the lives for the positive of the people of St. David? Yeah? Even if you want to measure, you can measure the same period of time, Oliver Joseph in office, and measure the time Deacon Mitchell in office, the same amount of time. Any period that Oliver Joseph was in office and Deacon Mitchell has been in office. And you would see that St. David has benefited significantly during the period of the new National Party. But what are they going to go in Parliament and say? What is the report? What is the constituency report they are going to give? What are they going to say to the people of St. David, the people who actually live there? The people who actually live there, the people who work there. What are they going to say that they have started, something that they have conceptualized, they have started, and they have done for the people of St. David? Ask yourself the same question for Toes. Yeah, Minister Lennox Andrews. What has he done for the people? And feel free to call and say, any of you, feel free, members of the NDC, feel free to call and say what the MP has conceptualized, not something that the new National Party was doing and they come and they continue. What new have they come with? And they have been able to say, they'll be able to stand up in Parliament in a few weeks and say, this is what I have done for the constituency of St. Andrew Southwest. What will they say? What report will they give to the people of St. Andrew Southwest and say, this is what I have done? St. Patrick, East and West. And while I'm at that, let me say a very, very special happy birthday to Mr. Victor Philip. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight, brother. Don't dance too much, eh? Right? Hope you're having a wonderful one. But what? And we're asking some questions here. What are the two representatives, Mr. Cornwall and Mr. What's his name again? Andal. What are they going to stand up in the Parliament of Grenada and say that they have achieved for the people of St. Patrick? What project have they instituted outside of the Send Home program, outside of the Take a Plane program, because they really need the jet bridge because they're traveling a lot, outside of the Send Home program, outside of the We Not in the Country program, outside of the jobs for some of the boys, because many of you who get up 3 o'clock in the morning and went and ensure that you work for the victory, all you ain't getting nothing yet, and it didn't seem as though all you getting anything. Yeah, they go pelt a look of money at you over the independence period, man. If you like that, take that 7 million in the first instance. So they'll take some more when the budget come, you go here. Yeah, but what have they given to you? What are they going to say that they have been able to do that has made the lives of the people of St. Patrick East and St. Patrick West better? What have they done? What projects have they initiated? And again, not just continuing the projects at the new National Party. What have they come in, promised before, come in and did, that they're able to now come and report and say, we've done? They've had a year. In 1 year, I could tell you that Sister Emlyn Pierre ensured that close to 4,000, if not more, young people were engaged under Ministry of Youth in less than a year. They've had a year and something. What is Mr. Ron Redhead going to report to the people of Grenada are the achievements of the Ministry of Youth they run? And I'm so sorry that much more people didn't pay attention, because it was a wonderful activity. The parliament, the primary school parliament, youth parliament, excellent. Those young people deserve an applause. When I looked on and I realized only 1 or 2 people watching are saying, goodness gracious, this wasn't pushed enough. Excellent. But outside of that, what are they going to say that they've achieved? What has the Ministry of Youth and Sport achieved? What have they done? What they're going to stand up and just take 3 minutes then? What is he going to say? What is Mr. Ron Redhead going to say he's done for the constituency of St. George Northeast? I mean, outside of Bongzong people children, what is he going to say that he has done for the constituency of St. George Northeast? What is his report going to be? Yeah? That you're continuing the projects that the new National Party start? No, people don't want to hear that. They want to hear what you has initiated. The same goes to Mr. Andy Williams down in the south of the island. The same goes to you all in St. John. And I know St. John is listening. Good night to you, St. John. What is Miss Karine James going to say that she has done in this period of time for the people of St. John? Yeah, what major achievement? What have the people, how has she improved the lives? Not improve the lives of she and boyfriend and them people that surround her. No, not the Leech Squad. Yeah, Leech Squad, not them. How has she improved the lives of the people of St. John in general? That's the questions they will have to answer. They've got to stand up and say something. So you see them rushing now to do things. So it's putting some humps because they need something to say. That's fast. You could just take some bolts and they put on some humps. Bam, bam, bam. We put on some humps and we start some work there. When the work go finish is a different story. But they want to be able to say, oh, we've started work on. Or we are about to start work on. Yeah, when it's going to finish is a different story because we see what has happened with them. Yeah, they met the River Road project going on. You see what happened with that right now. Molinier project, we see what's going on. Right? So starting is one thing, or about to start is one thing, but when it will be completed is a totally different story. Yeah? What is their report going to be? Ministry-wise, constituency-wise. What is Mr. Teleswat going to tell the people of St. George Southeast have been the achievements? That the Library Health Center closed because they don't have a nurse available or whatever other reason? That's what they're going to come and report on? In my personal belief, I think they're going to take the budget period to just attack the former administration. Like if NNP is still in office, So attack the NNP. Say thing about people in the NNP. Say thing about the members on the other side. Say all kind of thing. Utilize their time to attack the NNP and show talk. Yeah? Instead of saying these are the achievements. They can't. Because they don't have achievements to talk about. They can speak to completing some of the work that the new National Party was doing. And I just spoke to you all. I just told you, I mean, Mount Kuma Road, you have they can't come with that one again. I think that one was last year. They could come with the bypass road down by the airport. They could talk about that and the airport, the work taking place down there and so. But that's not an NDC report. You're just reporting what the NNP did. What has the NDC done? It's going to be very interesting to hear what their reports will be. Yeah, and as I said, I'm giving them the opportunity even tonight. Not them, but, well, yeah, them or their supporters. Call and say, what are the achievements in your constituency that the NDC has done? Not pre-existing programs to say, well, they did housing and they do X amount of housing for X amount of people because we know it's only certain people getting through with that. Yeah? What is the MP for the South going to say? You see them talking about, oh, we're going to do flyover and we're going to do this. Outside are planting some pumpkin. What has the MP for the South done? See them for looking for the egg down there. What has the MP for the South done? Yes, you paint some black and white lines all over the place. But how has the lives of the people of the South been uplifted? And don't try to say that you put lights in the playing fields. We will come to the playing fields in a while. But don't come to say that you put the lights in the playing fields, because we know that was a project of Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox. That was a promise he made. He ensured that all of that was organized. All you had to do basically was look over the fact that they was putting it up. Some men putting up that day. You see the rushing by the tennis court now? All the time they on go slow down by the tennis court. Now cement truck, everything, yeah. They're rushing to do work by the cement court now. Not because they understand that it has to be done and should have been done already. But it's coming up to budget. They want to be able to stand up and say, well, we complete the refurbishment. So we have to understand what's taking place. Folks, I did miss a few calls, 440-7377. But that is what is taking place. They want to be able... Good night to you, Norman Noel, out there in Maryland. My good listeners out there in North Carolina as well. A special good night to you. We've got a call online. Good night. Hello.
Hi, good night, Sheldon. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm fine. Go right ahead.
Very good, very good. I would like to bring in to the authorities that the road going up to Gulf Coast, especially the road inside Glasgow Bay, it is very disastrous. I don't know if somebody could pay attention to it, because actually it's really, really bad inside Glasgow Bay. Mm-hmm. So since you're talking about that, it just come to my mind and emphasize on that, please.
Well, where was I? I was in town, and a gentleman approached me and he was telling me about the state of the road going in Clarkscourt Bay. He says it's terrible.
It's really horrible, man. It's really horrible. Honestly, it's pure mud. In two halves of the road. Maybe the back of it is good, but on the entrance of it is good. But the center of the road is very, very horrible. Very horrible. And next thing, and also they have, I passed through today, and they have some massive rat, man. Mm-hmm. Big, like Manikou. I don't know where it comes from.
You sure it's not Manikou?
Yeah. You might have to send them one day.
Yeah, Devon, reliable services. We gotta send Devon down there.
Yeah, man. So just talking
but
about
you said golf course as well.
It's really horrible. I'll be honest with you. You cannot wash a vehicle and to say that you're going to go to work with a clean vehicle. It's really disastrous. Yeah, please.
You have said golf course as well. You did mention golf course as well.
Golf course, yeah, golf course. Some of the, like when you're going up, there are some holes in the two dead corners, that need to fill up, because when you're going up the hill, you have to go up with a speed, right? When I say speed, not fast, but...
I know the spot. I know the spot you're talking about there. It's right as you're about to take the turn at the top there.
Yeah.
It's bad there.
Right, when you're going up and then when you go on top the hill, there's another couple of holes there as well.
Okay.
But you need to straighten out, It needs to be straightened out,
Mm-hmm.
Please. So people in authority who are listening, I hope we look forward for your help. Thank you. Have a blessed night, you all.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm very interested in hearing what it is that the various MPs are going to say that they have achieved. And don't give me the thing that they just been in office a year and some no. Because I was part of the new National Party administration that came in 2013. And in less than 6 months, number one, public servants were being paid on time. For those who are non-Grenadians and are listening, they may be wondering how come that's an achievement. They should have known what was happening before. You have to know the history of what was taking place before. Yeah? But not just that. To see the number of young people that were engaged in various things from small business. You had all these young men and young ladies engaged in small business and different things like that. You're hearing that kind of talk right now? You're not hearing those things. You're not hearing about those things taking place right now. Yeah? That is the stage that we are at right now, that we're not even hearing those sort of things. Right? Let me take this call. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay, man.
All right, go right ahead.
Brother Sheldon, I'm saying thanks to all those who donated to the breakfast, Saturday gone by Jalan Shop. And I want to say thanks to you all those who brought thanks for making the breakfast a success, Brother Sheldon. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. What was missing, you were missing there, but the breakfast was wonderful. All right. So I want to say, Brother Sheldon, thanks to all those who purchased, those who donate to the breakfast. And Brother Sheldon, with something in this way again coming up, either for month 10 or luncheon, I will give you more information about it later on in the month. So Brother Sheldon, have a better night.
Okay, great. Thank you. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. Yeah, tell me what. Nobody can call. I know that the members of the NDC listen to this program religiously on a nightly basis, and I am offering them an opportunity to boast about what their individual MPs have done for their constituent. Just be respectful, because we have a kind of thing here where we could embarrass you. Yeah, so you have to be respectful, right? But 440-7377. That's the St. John constituency branch. Yeah, PD4. They would like to thank all of you that participated in the barbecue on Saturday. It was very successful. I got a message from them. They are so thankful. And St. David, yeah, they were so busy. Yeah, I tell you. We've got a caller. Oh, we missed that one. Yeah, 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. And in fact, you know what? Let me hold on the phone calls for a little while as I get into this one. Now, on Saturday, I'm going through as normally. I usually go through newspapers and the government gazette and so on a Friday and Saturday. And this Saturday, I was made aware of an SRO that came out. And that is, and I can show you here, I like to show you things when I'm speaking. So there is let me just make it large here. All right. Yeah. So this SRO came out. It speaks to the minister in exercise of the powers conferred on him pursuant to Section 1 of the National Sports Council Act No. 2 of 2012 hereby makes the following order. Right? And the citation is the order may be cited as the National Sports Council Act Commencement Order. So, in other words, what it's saying here is that as of tomorrow, because it says here, the National Sports Council Act No. 2 of 2012 shall come into force on the 7th day of November 2023, made by Minister this 24th day of October 2023, Ron Redhead, Minister with responsibility for sports. So, we have there that the statutory rules and orders, in other words, the act that was passed back in 2012 has now been given a commencement date. So that act is now going from 12 o'clock tonight. It's going to be law. All right, but what are they passing into law? Now, some of you may have seen today an article by Linda Straker in relation to this issue, where it speaks to the National Sports Council Act and different things in the National Sports Council Act. And I'm just trying to make it a bit larger here, but it isn't, for some reason, it isn't working with me tonight. Yeah, the National Sports Council Act, right? Let me see if I can bring it up here. Maybe if I do it like this. Yeah. So the National Sports Council Act, right? This was passed in 2012 by the former NDC administration. In fact, the person who pushed this one is the present advisor in the Ministry of Sport. At that point in time, he was the Minister of Sport, and he was the one that pushed the idea of the National Sports Council. And in that act, you have different things here. you have the arrangement of clauses, you have all of these bits and pieces, the financial, etc. But let me explain something to you here, right? And let me see if I can pull it up here. What are the functions? Section 4 speaks to the functions of the council. So the functions of the council shall be to stimulate and facilitate the development of sports generally in Grenada. And I'm reading it out because there are many people online, many people on radio who may not be able to see what I'm saying. So it says the functions of the council shall be to stimulate and facilitate the development of sports generally in Grenada, develop, maintain, and manage sporting facilities, including all playing fields provided by the government for public use, save and except the Grenada National Stadium. And I assume that was done in that way because the Grenada National Stadium itself is a statutory body. They're creating a statutory body here, another statutory body. But the Grenada National Stadium for itself, that is a statutory body. Yeah, so they've excluded that from being among the other playing, but all the public playing fields, right? Administer the funds of the council and all government grants allotted to sporting organizations. So if the Grenada Football Association or the Grenada Netball Association has to receive money now, it has to go through the National Sports Council, not the Ministry of Sports, but the National Sports Council will now be responsible for providing grants to these various sporting institutions. Develop an annual national sporting calendar to be published no later than 1 month prior to the start of each calendar year, right? So basically by the end of November every year, the National Sports Council will have to publish a calendar of all the sporting activities for the following year. So that's things like intercall, national champs, relay meet, all of these things. They'll be responsible for those and they will have to develop the calendar and publish that no later than the 1 month prior to the start of the calendar year. So basically by the end of November every year. Facilitate and support the organizing of national sporting events, including the Grenada National Championships in collaboration with the respective national federations, ministries and agencies. So the Ministry of Sports basically has no work to do again. But anyhow, support the work of the national federations in the organization of regional and international sporting events taking place in Grenada. Provide oversight and support for all island-wide sporting competitions through liaising with parish sports councils. Organize and implement training and development activities aimed at strengthening the operations and financial viability of various sporting federations. And what I'm saying here, as I'm reading out these, is that more and more you have to wonder what is really taking place with the Ministry of Sport. Will we still have a Ministry of Sports? Because if this National Sporting Council is going to be doing all of this, what really is going to be the job of the National Sports Council, the Ministry of Sports? Yeah? What is going to be the job of the Ministry of Sports if all of this is taking place? Facilitate and support the preparation of national teams for competition in regional and international sporting events. So, what we have a national... So what we have a Ministry of Sports for? Well, we know that we have an incompetent person in charge of the Ministry of Sports, but they didn't have to make it so plain and obvious. But one of the most dangerous parts of this, one of the most dangerous parts of this is Section 17, and that is the part that Ms. Traker in her article pointed to, right? So it says here under Section 17 of this Act, any person, these are offenses, any person who willfully disrupts any sporting activity sponsored by the council, assaults any members, officer, or servants of the council in the execution of his duty, enters or attempts to enter any sporting facility or playing field, to make use of such facilities or playing field under the control of the council other than that which is authorized by the council, damages any sporting facility or playing field under the control of the council, save and except the Grenada National Stadium, commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $1,000 or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 12 months or both. So you could have to pay $1,000 as well as go to jail for a year. Right? Not exceeding a year, but at least a year. Now, I think the part that is causing concern here is this piece. Attempts to enter any sporting facility or playing field or make use of any such facilities or playing field. Because that is so broad that it basically says that as of 12 o'clock tonight, you're not allowed to even pass in a playing field without the okay of the National Sporting Council. And believe me, not only did Ms. Straker get legal persons to look at that, I've done the same, and the interpretation is exactly the same. That it is now, they have basically made it illegal. They've made it illegal now for anybody to utilize a playing field. So the fellas who does go and play the local cricket or the football and them kind of thing, you must get permission from the National Sports Council to do so. Now, are they going to actually implement that? I am pretty sure they can. That's the same as telling Grenadian you can't go on a beach, as far as I am concerned. But it shows the lack of aptitude. that's a nice way of putting it. The ineptitude of the minister that he could sign something into law without even understanding these aspects of it. And now you give it a commencement date of tomorrow, and as far as everybody knows, there's no National Sports Council in place. So so the law is for grants, and so as of tomorrow, people are supposed to go through a National Sports Council. Who are the members of the National Sports Council? Can anybody point to them? Who are the members of the National Sports Council? Yeah? Nobody? We don't know. Because it has not been gazetted. We don't know. So now you have all of these things that are offenses. Why was it necessary to make it an offense that anybody assaults a member of the council? Assault is already a crime in the state of Grenada. So you're telling me now that if somebody gets into an altercation, an assault is very broad. Former police officers, feel free to call. Assault is very broad. Taking your finger and shoving it up in somebody's face might even be considered assault. It's a kind of broad thing. And that means that you could end up getting charged two ways, because you could get charged now under this act for assault and still get charged for assault otherwise. I mean, this thing, something has to be wrong here. We've got a caller online. Good night. Hello, good night, caller.
Hello?
Hi, good night. Yes, caller, you're live. Go right ahead.
I'm not hearing you properly.
But we're hearing you a bit properly. You go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing that because Alamut pasture, they're setting up all kind of thing in the pasture up there, so we're taking that as a lullaby.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're doing that.
Mm.
Not hearing you though.
Okay. All right, my brother. I heard you though. All right. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yeah? 440-7377. Give us a call. Right? Because yeah, I am seriously wondering now. Yeah? I'm seriously wondering now if they read what it is that they are putting into law as of midnight tonight. But then again, you have an incompetent person in charge of the ministry. There's incompetence in charge of the ministry. So the mere fact that you have incompetence in charge of the ministry, they wouldn't bother to read what it is that they're bringing into law. They wouldn't read it. So when you read this, it's clear. And let me pull it up again for you. It's clear. It says here, any person who enters or attempts to enter any sporting facility or playing field to make use of any such facilities or playing field under the control of the council. And remember earlier, it said that all playing fields in Grenada, all public playing fields now and sporting facilities are now under the control of the National Sports Council. That, by the way, as far as we know, because unless it's gazetted, and it has not been gazetted, who are the members of the National Sports Council, but yet still, they're saying as of 12 o'clock tomorrow, the National Sports Council, well, 12 midnight tonight, the National Sports Council is going to be in effect. But anybody that enters or even attempt to enter, so you don't even have to enter, but attempt to enter any sporting facility or playing field and make use of such facilities or playing field under the control of the council, other than that which is authorized by the council. So the non-existent council has to give you permission to use any playing field in Grenada right now, be it Tantine, well, I will see how they could think that with Old Trafford, be it Montrouge, etc. You have to get permission now from the council to be able to. This is way more than just having political rallies or a bingo or a village activity. No, this is way more than that. This is even some fellas just deciding to go in and play some football on a playing field in Progress Park. They just decide to go in and take a sweat in the afternoon, or they go into Tantine on a Sunday morning and decided taking a sweat. This is covered by it. Because legally now, they are committing an offense. Yeah? Legally, they are now committing an offense as of midnight tonight with this act. Instead of them take the act, look at it, do a revision, and then come with the National Sports Council. No, as usual. Just take something from 2012 because that was what Mr. Simmons and them do, and he's the advisor, and pull it now and come with it and put it into law. Yeah, so as of midnight tonight, this piece of nonsense is going to be law in the state of Grenada. 440-7377, that's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside tonight. And we have a call online. Good night. Hello.
Yeah, good night.
Good night. Yes, caller, go right ahead. You're live.
Yeah, so you're telling me now you can't do the football players, the players, everybody, they just cannot go into the place and practice to have the play when they have time.
Legally, everybody that wants to use a playing field has to get permission from the council. That is what the law says. If they're able to enforce that law, they have a good time. Try that with Grenadian. That is the same as telling a Grenadian they can't go on a beach. So they could try. But they have it in law.
At the end of the day now, you know, with what we get in here now, we look at it, that's what we vote for. Because they did say vote for a change. All right.
All right, brother. 440-7377. I mean, I see it. This is the law. And I'm not encouraging anybody to break the law. I am not encouraging anybody to break the law. But I'm saying that I would like to see them try and implement that one. Yeah, really and truly. We've got a call online. Good night.
Pleasant good night, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm quite fine.
I just, as a concerned citizen, regardless of which side of the fence you sit on, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is concerning. I joined you late. What I wanted to find out is, where is the National Sports Council's office? And concerning the Tantine playing field, in fact, no, I would like to know if anyone can tell me how far the Tantine playing field is. And if it encompasses where the panels is, would the panels either have to move or would they have to pay the National Sports Council to use the facilities once this is put into law properly? Thank you so very much.
All right, thank you. Well, that's a very, very good question, my friend. Whether where the panels is considered to be part of the Tantine playing. Excellent question. And as to the office, I think they actually do have an office. I think it's 2 people alone in it. They don't have a council. So, unless it's illegal. Under the nutmeg tree. Go ahead, my brother. You're live. Go ahead.
Hi.
Yes, sir. You're live. Go ahead.
Yeah. Under the nutmeg tree.
Yes, sir. That's it. Under the tree.
Yeah, you know, I make some deep dive. And when I check the leader of the NDC, I want to compare him with the Israel leader.
Netanyahu, Bibi?
Yeah. That's my deep dive now. Because Netanyahu, look what he's doing to Palestine. When we check out in Grenada, like the committee, like the man, they take away 200 people and old people. Right? You take away from disadvantage, you take away from children. Right? And look what you do now, you take away houses from the people. So they can, for me, they're Netanyahu. They're Netanyahu. Seriously, I say most politicians talk about that. And next thing again, they make a deep dive. When we grade and listen to 10,000 toilet and bathrooms, and should not remember, Gary did that, you know. Gary built toilet and bathroom in every village in Grenada. Yeah? You ever make a deep dive?
Well, I know Sir Eric Matthew Gary did a lot, eh?
Eric Matthew Gary built bathroom and toilet in every village in Grenada. And then when World Boss come with the 10,000 bathroom and toilet, when I'm about to try to wash now, and let me go on sports now. I ain't talking about this kind of law making for the playing field and everything in Grenada now. They're making a law. Let me make Ron here to know. To go and clean the playing field in Vandom. Look at the playing field opposite the school. And what is the state of the playing field. And the playing field only coming that way when ANC come in power. Ron right there. I know you don't listen. Clean the playing field. Clean it in Vandom. It's as far as right now. Clean it. Thank you, Charlene.
All right. Thank you, brother. And someone is asking me if the National Sports Council will be a statutory body or a full government organization. As far as I can see, it will be a statutory body. Yeah, a new statutory body. Now, it calls into question certain things that have been happening over the past year. For instance, the dismissal of groundsmen over the last year. You know, they dismiss some, they call them back, different things like that. Now, remember, if the National Sports Council is now going to be responsible for all these playing fields, the groundsmen will not be under the Ministry of Sports again. They'll be under the National Sports Council. They have the full responsibility for the upkeep, everything of the playing field. So you can't have people from the Ministry of Sports. So how are they dealing with these workers? Will they be sent over now to work with the National Sports Council? Will some sort of arrangement take place for these workers between the National Sports Council and the Ministry of Sports? Because what I'm seeing here is really the gutting the Ministry of Sports. If everything in relation to sports is basically now the National Sports Council, so you have a Ministry of Sports in name only. Yeah? Because even the policy, the National Sports Council will have part to play in the development of the policy. So are you really going to have because I mean, look at what takes place to all the ministries under Ron Redhead, right? Cultural Foundation already deals with a lot of the things that the Ministry of Culture used to deal with. If you check what is under the Cultural Foundation Act, they have basically taken over a lot of the functions that the Ministry of Culture used to do. You're seeing that happening now with sports, with this formation in National Sports Council. So sports and culture. And then youth, they are transferring these programs now to the National Training Agency. So he's basically going to be a minister, nothing. Nothing. He's just a minister in name only. Well, I hear they say he go in and study. That's why I've seen that flying all over the place, that they tell him go and study and that kind of thing. So what I'm saying here is that, yeah, it's good to say you want to do that, you know. Let's see them implement it. Because some people...
Good night, Sheldon.
Good night, my dear. Go right ahead.
Okay. The reasons why they're running laws in place is because if the NMP is having the funding going wrong, and it's the playing fields and them that we are using. Right? So that is why they run and they put in things to hamburgers from going into the playing field. But tell them to go, they have to go. To go, but we will find somewhere else to go. We must get somewhere to go. They won't stop us, and they can't stop us. Right? That is the reason they put in that is why they put in this law in order to stop us from going around having our fundraising. Thank you, Sheldon.
All right. 440-7377, and I'm sorry for the person I just missed on the overseas line. 347-329-3101 for those of you calling on the overseas line. Yeah. Now, also, they've just hired, as far as I know, a deputy coordinator in the Ministry of Sports whose main responsibility from what I am picking up is facilities. But if you hire somebody as a deputy coordinator in the Ministry of Sports and their main responsibility is to look after playing fields and all these facilities, then just a few weeks later, you pass an act now that basically puts all the playing fields under the Sports Council. Then we hired the person for. We've got a caller on the line. Good night. Hello. Hello, good night. Okay, we may have lost that caller. Yeah, we may have lost that caller. 440-7377. Yeah. So why? I'm still trying to understand that one. We've got a caller online. Good night.
Yes, good night again.
Yes, ma'am.
This policy that they want to pass there now.
No, they've already passed it. It's in law as of midnight tonight, in a few hours. It is the law of Grenada. It was, listen, this thing was actually passed in Parliament in the year 2012. Right? We came in and watched that thing. You come on, seriously. You think you're going to NNP would have put something like that in place? No one is saying that the idea of a National Sports Council is a bad thing. But you have to be careful. It has to be done in conjunction with the various sporting organizations. You have to build up from the national sport parish councils to the national council. They didn't do that, but they want to put this in place.
So they don't have no consultation. They don't consult with anyone who knows more about these things to get a better view or idea of how to do things. These people are just inexperienced, irresponsible, no love. So what about the young people that they care for? So now you can, when the school want to have a little exercise them with those children one day, so they have to write to the council weeks in advance. So they have to start planning the program now, what they would like to do, when they would want to have the use of the playing field or the grounds, weeks in advance to send into this council and get permission to use it. So what are we doing?
They've criminalized what is a normal behavior in Grenada. That guys would basically go in the playing field and play some football in the evening. Now they've criminalized it. That is a criminal offense. You could end up having to pay $1,000 or a year in jail.
And they expect when they go out there to compete with others, with other nations and other people who are more versed and they practice and versatile, or you will use the word. And they're more agile to move about. You understand? Know they stops, know when to kick, when to do this, how they defense and all them kind of thing, because they practice. Them don't have the privilege to do so. How they expect them to win? They're not taking into in consideration the young people. I mean, to say that is nonsense. These people need to go. That is nonsense.
In my mind, there was no need for that particular section because, in fact, for assaulting a member of the council. So what? The members of the council are different to every Grenadian, so that now, if somebody, and in sports and thing, it does an argument, and sometimes you use a facility. So if you get into a heated argument and you shove your hand in somebody's face like that, outside of being charged for normal assault, you can also be charged under this with you could get a second charge under this act. Was that necessary? Assault is assault. It's already a criminal offense. Why did they have to criminalize it a second time?
Only if they expect dummies to go and play on the field.
Well, if the dummies still
push
their hand.
You know, them blow a plastic thing that the wind blow and thing. They can't speak now nothing.
My dear.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
My dear.
Lord, what are we getting to?
Good night, eh? We go talk.
Good night.
All right. We have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Yeah, Senator Scott.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Not too bad, not too bad. What I'm trying to find out is about the character game. Because they say they have to fix the ground, for the athletes, and it will take about 6 months. But they not start yet. If you're going to take about 6 months, how are they going to have the character game?
Well, I could say this, when it comes to the track at the National Stadium, personally, and I'll give Jack the jacket, I'm not too worried about being able to complete the project in time because I understand. Now, the track that's on the stadium, right? They have two options. I don't know which one they're going to go with. Option one is that they can recoat the entire track. In other words, there's a mix. This thing is like not concrete, but it's like a rubber thing you pour right over that they can resurface the entire track. That's option one. Option two is that they can dig up the whole track and pour over a new track. They have to pour it. They can pour a new track. That will not necessarily take 4 and 5 months to do. It might be you could do that within a month. If you know what you're doing and you have a professional team doing it, they could be able to do that in a month, 6 weeks, that kind of time frame. But I don't know which one they're going with. And again, you have all different activities coming up for the 50th anniversary of independence. I would have thought that no, when you don't have nothing going on, they would have been the best time to do that.
Yeah, because that keep people up to date. You must keep people up to date. They're not doing that. At the last minute, they're just going to do what they have to do, and that's about it. But remember, we have people abroad who will like to come home, who know, like the sports and whatever. So you can't tell us something 6 months ago, and then you wait another 6 months that we could hear something,
Well, what I could
tell you, must know what they intend to do.
What I could tell you is this: the decision to relay the track was made under the new National Party administration as well. And I'm not saying that to get any back and forth with people about NNP and NDC. I'm stating a fact. I was part of the Stadium Authority Board of Directors. The decision to relay that track took place under the last administration just before the change in government. That decision was made. And we were having discussions with the Chinese in relation to that and other things. Yeah? So the rollout, it should have been done already. There's no excuse why it's not done yet. It should have been done already.
Well, I thought they went to another country. There was another country was involved, and someone of the ministers went.
They changed it up. They changed up what was there before to something new.
Okay.
Yeah, they changed up what... You see, that's the thing. They want to be able to say, we do. You understand? Not that we have this for Grenada, but we do. So that's what's taking this on.
Why we never put a floodlight in the cricket stadium? I heard Sister Evelyn Pierre talk about it, yes. I heard Brother Bowen talk about it. They even talk about the other company from England. I wonder, Dr. Mitchell is a cricket man. Why they never do that? All the other countries in the world, the cricket stadium have floodlight, except Grenada. Why?
What I could say is this, that there was a project that had to be implemented where you were going to light the Grenada National Cricket Stadium together with the La Sagesse playing field. And then that project ended up into two separate projects where you have to do the stadium as one and the playing field as a separate one. You see, the La Sagesse playing field was done. We were in the process of securing funding and so on. But when you mention the price to do the lighting in the cricket stadium, the amount of people that start to make noise and saying you're spending, because it would have been over $1 million to do that project, that lighting project for the cricket stadium. And there were different ways they were looking at it, whether to do the lights as you have over at the athletic stadium, or there was another concept of how they were thinking of doing the lights. So you had all of these things being taken into consideration. And again, you're out of office, so it's up to the bunch that are there now to go ahead and move forward with that particular.
But I don't like when the bunch where they come and put on floodlight. Then they have the advantage. Then they put the floodlight because you know how Deacon Mitchell has talked and saying, well, for years that was there and they do nothing. The same thing they talk about the housing. They say
But
that
remember,
the housing was built and we was not giving the housing to the people.
But
Yes,
remember,
I mean, that they could come and do what they want.
but remember when we spoke about the lights
in the
before,
future-
there was a uproar
Yeah.
in relation to the cost that it would have cost to do that. Even if you're doing it through National Lottery or whoever, there was a significant cost to doing it.
I heard Mr. Bowen and them say they had this company from England and it wouldn't cost more than $1.5 million or something. So,
Yeah.
and then they had everything in place.
Yeah, because
So that when
I
they-
even saw the.
remember what they said.
I remember seeing, while I was in the ministry, I remember even seeing the lighting plan. Because if you're doing something, for instance, if you're lighting a cricket stadium, you don't just throw up lights and say you have lights. It has to be done. It has to be angled in a particular way for nighttime cricket
They
and
have to
all
do all
that.
the testing,
Yeah.
different angle and see the light, you know. But I think we just take too long to do that. We just take too long, Sheldon. Time runs fast, you know, and we just take too long to do that. But maybe, you know, everything takes time. I hope we get it done this time.
Okay, my brother.
You know what I mean? Because all what NDC is just saying, anything they think and they do it, they start saying, why? I hear the Prime Minister talk and that is attitude. Oh, why didn't do this? Why didn't do it? They give this so long. Why they didn't do this? Why, you know, and poor arrogancy, you know, and you look foolish. You know, use government continue. You take it from there and you go forward. If you lost the next election, the government take it from there and they go forward.
My brother.
That's the way it works.
My brother, when baby pig see mommy pig nose and he say, why your nose so big? What mommy pig tell baby pig?
Say, come and you go see.
All right.
Yeah. We have to come out from that stupidness, you know. We're doing that independence thing, you know. You have to do it in a way, it's a national event. It's not politics. It's not yellow, a green, a blue, a red, you know. You can't run it like that. It's not good. It's not healthy for the country. Putting up thing on YouTube and Facebook, thinking that's the way it works. Yes, we're living in this time now. But come on, we got to do better than that. You know, and all ministers have short breath. When you hear talking to them, they're blowing short. They have short breath because they're ready to attack you. You know, we have to stop with that foolishness. Grenada belongs to all of us. Not one set of people. You know? But anyhow, you go ahead with your stuff. We'll talk again.
All right, brother.
Okay,
All right. Folks, let's go to the other line. Hello, good night.
Good evening, Sheldon. How are you?
Hey, I'm quite fine. How are you doing?
Thanks be to God, I'm okay.
All right, you go right ahead.
Piggybacking on this thing about likes, I just want, if you allow me to use your forum to say thanks and pay tribute to two police officers who helped me last night. I had an emergency situation taking somebody to the hospital. And on the way, one of my tires blew out. A mother with a child having breathing problems. So you're stranded on the side of the road near to Calico in Grenville, a lighted area. And, you know, we tried stopping. I mean, numerous amount of vehicles passed. Nobody came to our aid. And so when one guy came, he tried to help us change the tire, but the jack wasn't working and mine as well wasn't working. Eventually, the police officers, maybe on patrolling, and they came and asked what happened. And without even asking, offered to take the mother and the child to the hospital. While they left me in the company of somebody else, if I get her, they came back from the hospital. They passed back down, saw me there still. They didn't say anything, I just toot and went. And then about 10 minutes later, I saw a vehicle coming up again, and it was the two police officers coming back to see if I'm okay, realizing I'm not okay in terms of getting help in changing the tire. So they left, went back to the station, and came back with jack and spanner. That didn't work. Went back again, come back, you know, and then eventually the female officer may have had her private car. She went back to the station, came back with her own tools, and, you know, they took over from me. I was like a spectator, bystander. They took charge. And Officer Felix and Davis of the traffic department in Grenville, female and male police officer. And I mean, Sheldon, despite all the police officers are going through all the gloomy clouds in this country, there is points of lights in Grenada. And I really was touched and moved by the generosity, the commitment, and even
going beyond the call of duty by these two police officers. And I'm telling you, the superiors would hear of this, and I just want to publicly use your forum to publicly thank them and to pay tribute and really ask God to bless them, because it was closer to me. I stayed there so long, and I'm telling you, Sean, so many vehicles passing over. You're begging, you're flagging down, nobody stopped. Truck, cars, everything, and they came, and assisted. So the child has greatly improved, and was able to get to the hospital on time with the breathing problem. So I'm really grateful to them. I thank God for them. I ask God to bless them, provide them, with their own needs, supply their own needs as well, and to pray that there'll be many, many more police officers like that, and it's not all bad and all gloom and doom with the force. There are people who are really, genuine and committed to their call of duty. So thank you very much, and this is what I want to use your forum to do tonight.
And caller, please, within the shortest space of time, make sure that you write to the commandant of their particular facility and the COP as well.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see out outline of what I was going to say. I'm going to send to the commissioner and as well as the who is in charge of the station. And God willing, their Christmas will be sure with me. Trust me.
Okay.
So God bless you and thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you
very much. I was really, really touched, and very, very. So God bless you, brother.
All right, thank you. 4407377. That's a 4407377. That is the number. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hello, good night. Hello. Okay, we lost that caller. 4407377. And for those of you outside of Grenada, 347-329-3101. Now, they can come and they can say as much that a lie. But the laws are there. You can go online and you can find it yourself, or I can send a copy of it to you. As of 7 o'clock tonight, not 7 o'clock tonight, as of 12 midnight, 12 midnight, that is now the law in the state of Grenada. This is now the law within the state of Grenada. Nice? Good. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to get onto the inside.
Yes, this is a tribute to Tobulus. He's one of our fallen soldiers. May your soul rest in peace, my brother.
Hey. I was thinking as well, somebody who usually cut across the playing field and that sort of thing. That person committing an offense too? As I say, they're making it law, but I would love to see them try. I would love to see them try to implement that one. Seriously. And I'll keep repeating it. It's like telling Grenadians you can't go on the beach. Good luck with that particular one. We have a caller online. Good night.
Mr. Scott.
Hi, sir.
I sat a little bit confused. The sports committee is already formed. Based on what I heard from you, we have not been told who are the members, how they will be selected.
It's not been gazetted.
We have not been told whether it's a paid job or free. We have not been told how people get in on the board, how you take out people on the board. And so, to me, I don't understand. I thought all these things would have been discussed before. To me, some ways the cart before the horse.
My friend,
I don't know who, how many representatives in every parish, how much person from representing St. John, how much person representing St. Andrews, how much the committee make up of, how you can select people, how you can fire people from the thing. I thought we'd get some before you start going into the offense and whatnot.
Well, even that, as you said, offense, and somebody just messaged that one, and it's a valid point. They'll have to establish exactly, and that goes back to the question a caller asked earlier. They'll have to establish what are the boundaries of the playing fields, and they may have to fence them. Yeah. Because how are you going to say that a person can't go on a playing field in their community that their grandparents used to be on, their great-grandparents used to be there, their parents used to be there, and so on? Now you're telling them, How are you going to do that? They're playing fields that people use as a shortcut to get to and from where they're going.
Exactly.
How are you going to implement something like that? A law should at least be sensible. This dunce. It is
I'm
dunce.
not satisfied. I find that, that's manhandling people, man.
That
You
entire
guys-
offenses section needs to go.
At least some really should have come out. You should know how the committee operates, when, how you select somebody. I mean, you're going to just some people and name them as members of the committee, and how do you change them? We don't know the rules, we don't know the regulation. We hear nothing from no authority.
Well, I'll tell you this.
I find that children play.
As far as I am concerned and legally,
not satisfied.
okay.
I understand that it's a long time. NMP had also put it in place. NDC started it before, and I know
We wouldn't put that in
something
place.
that rambled around for a long time. But I find it's sort of secret in now.
Because, my friend, you remember what happened in 2012, eh? After they passed this and one or two other things, they shut down Parliament in 2012. So it was passed, it was there, it was passed, but it was never gazetted and given, the process behind it never took place.
You sitting and let people know what is what. You don't have an idea. We don't have an idea who is president, who is saying, whether it's paid people, whether the people will be paid by government.
No, they will be
who is
paid.
responsible for the funds for the sporting thing. All these things should be. I mean, the ordinary man has go and look up that now. No, I'm not satisfied.
Mm-hmm. All right,
and I think the NMP shouldn't sit back on that. They should make their voice be heard on that.
Okay, my brother.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Yeah, let's take this call. Hello, good night.
Hello.
Hi, good night.
Yes, Shala. My quick question is that is only the playing field or even the entire pavilion area?
That would be part of the facility, so it includes the pavilion area.
So
because it says no, it didn't say just playing fields, it says facilities, so it is inclusive of the bathroom, the pavilion, the playing field, all of that. And that's what we was getting at a while ago when someone said they may have to fence all the playing fields because you'd have to establish the border. If you have to implement something like that, they'd have to establish the border. But again, understand this in the context, my friend. They are looking for things to talk about because they're coming up to budget. They want to be able to say that they implement the National Sports Council. No names
what I'm saying is
have
that
been
there's
gazetted.
ordinary activities normally goes on, especially in Lassages and Progress Park and other. I mean, how we sometimes you see people just come and ride bikes or come with the kids and play. I could tell you about Lassages. Because I mean, you see, the ladies come with the little kids, they get little bikes so how do you? I mean, are you going to lock the gate?
But not only that, it also covers all the basketball courts too, eh? So it means guys who go and take a sweat in the evening time, like they just go on a basketball court, be it Carnage or wherever, these facilities are also under the National Sports Council. Technically, the guy is not supposed to go and take a sweat there. If somebody decides to make trouble, and they can utilize this because it has now been passed into law, so that people are no longer able to just
if the
utilize
ground
it.
is being prepared for a particular activity and you seal it off, right? I mean, I respect it, right? Because
but my friend, we are Grenadians. When we know an activity is taking place on a playing field, we know it have a big cricket match coming up or something. We don't go and run up and down the pitch and so on, especially when they canvas, and we don't do it. So I'm still trying to understand the thinking behind something like this. To me, it's absolute nonsense by stupid people. I'm just saying how it is. It's nonsense by stupid people.
I think if there's any activities taking place, right, and it's been like for a football match or cricket or whatever, and you have or probably some relays or whatever, and you have markings on the grounds, right? So and you seal off that area, that is fine. But the pavilion area, because many times you see like during holidays and other times, even sometimes people just go visit or they go around driving around the islands and they use the facilities. Now how would these people be accommodated? I mean, it's kind of, it's questionable. I mean, it's just something,
my friend.
I know about and
know,
learn about how you go about doing this thing.
I know what I'm saying when I say this is the same as telling a Grenadian they can't go on a beach. Good luck with that one, eh? All right, my brother. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
And then understand something, eh? Grenada has some of the most playing fields. Some other countries don't have the amount of playing fields that we have. Eh? You check countries like Dominica and so on. They don't have the amount of playing fields, public spaces as Grenada has. Right? It's going to be very interesting. Honestly, I don't see anybody getting arrested for doing it, but it is in the law and it leaves it open to be utilized. Yeah? Which is why I think that they need to be extremely careful with that one. We've got a call online. Hello?
Senator Scott,
yes,
just
sir.
for a few seconds.
Yes, sir.
What happened to the guys who would go on Sundays and play the wind ball cricket in all them little field around?
They have to
so
get permission.
What will happen to them? They can't go. They got to go and get a letter and send to somebody or something.
They have to get permission from the Sports Council.
But that is madness.
Well,
Grenada, Senator Scott, when you get up on Sunday morning and man, you just get your stomach put up and the kids running the ball. The same thing comes from the little soccer. We get up in the morning, we go run the ball and then we go on the beach. If you're getting rid of that and trying to say you have to do this and you have to do that, what state Grenada coming to? Just think about it. Are we going back under the communist system? Or we better be careful with this thing.
Man, even under a communist system,
from the people.
Even under a communist system, they ensure that those places are available because they want a healthy population. So they ensure that they add more playing fields and so on, so you could go and exercise and so. And they don't have to ask for permission to do it.
Senator Scott, they got to fence the whole, all them places,
Well, as I said, it's the law. It's written.
Walk across to walk. People come across the playing field. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the playing field people walk across because you have houses on the other side and you have things there. How are you going to do this thing? They better take the time and think this thing over before they go to Parliament and pass anything. Why they don't sit around a table, you know what I mean, and talk this thing out? And most of them who supporting this thing is foreigners.
My brother.
They come from the foreign country and they see the thing and they're thinking, we are poor country. We used to go in the park. When we finish work, Sheldon, and who come from school, we used to head straight and go and do little thing. But the stadium come now, we use the top field now, up by the school. You know what I mean? You got to think about all them things, chanting, playing field. Royce and John work hard to dumb thing, to create something for the young people. And now they come in and say, you know what I mean? You can use that. And the pan house is the right in chanting day. So what are they going to do? They'll put up a big fence in front of the pan house?
Well, let's see how this one develops, my brother. It's the law, it's what is written. I would love to see them try to implement it. Let it try.
Just think about it. You go to 4. As you go to the ones up in suburban plains, them places there. You have to find a way to do this thing, You can't just tell the whole of Grenada, we done inside already watching television and you want the youth to come out and instead of stay inside. And you want something has to change. Let's hope they do the right thing.
All right.
Just pray they do the right thing, Sheldon. Okay, there.
All right, brother. Thanks. 440-7377, 347-329-3101. I would like to see them try and implement that one. Seriously, Seriously. I mean, come on, man. Once again, let me just show you all. So when they ask you all could say that you see what there. Right. You all could say that you see what there. It says any person who willfully disrupts any sporting activity, right, sponsored by the council, assaults any members, officer, or servant of the council in the execution of his duty, enters or attempts to enter any sporting facility or playing field to make use of any such facilities, to make use of it, under the control of the council, other than that which is authorized by the council, damages any sporting facility or playing field under the control of the council, save and except the Grenada National Stadium. So you commit an offense and you're liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding $1,000 or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 12 months or both fine and confine. All right, we have a call online. Good night.
Scotty boy, good night.
Good night, sir.
Well, in a case as that Mama Can pasture, for example, if you know it very good, how they will control that?
But them alone, no? Ask him once.
How they will control
he was
Mama
the minister.
Can pasture?
He was the minister when this was put in place, when this law was brought to Parliament and passed. And now he's the advisor when the statutory rules are passed, so it enacts this as of midnight tonight. So this is now law within the next, under 3 hours from now. This is the law of the country.
People in Mama Can on the eastern side to the western side, they passing to the pasture to and fro every day. Thousands of them, you know.
Well, as I say,
I keep how they will control that?
Putting it in law is one thing, enacting it is another. It's law now, but as of tonight, but let me see them enacted.
Papi, well, they have a force to reckon with in Mama Can because children, big people, everybody, to and fro, they're passing through this, so I don't know what will happen.
Okay.
All right.
All right, brother. And they can't say that a lie. The law is the law. That is the law there. That is what they enacted. They didn't make any changes to it. They didn't take out anything from it. They didn't go back and redraft it and say, well, we take out this or we add this or anything. This is the law. That is what they make into the law right now. So, I mean, they can't vex with anybody for saying what the truth is. Yeah, this is what they have in place. And again, and I keep saying, one of the broader issues here, though, is what now will be the role of the Ministry of Sports? Do we really have a need then for a Ministry of Sports? If the National Sports Council dealing with all the things that I read out to you, and there are a lot more that I didn't get into, but if they're dealing with all of that, what is now the role of the Ministry of Sports? Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I goes to America and New Jersey and Canada. Now, my friends has a playing field in the back of their house. And in the morning time, they get up, a few of them, and they go there, and they walk around the playing field, and they go and exercise there. Even in the evening time, they have a little gathering there. So I don't understand what this dum-dum and them in Grenada are doing. Even in Canada, my son has a pasture in the back of them. You go through the basement and you open the gate and you fall right into the playing field, and everybody is down in the playing field down there. So I don't know these people and them. I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand. So what they're telling Grenadians now, they can have no recreation. Nobody cannot go to the playing field to exercise. You can have a little picnic or a little exercise in a little group or something, you know. Or a group can go and sit down in the pavilion to have a little social. I mean, the dumb and them in Grenada, I don't know what's going on with them. They want to hold us hostage. I don't understand, Sheldon. I don't understand.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Well, I understand. You see, that's the thing. I'm not surprised by many things because I expect certain behaviors from certain people. So this does not surprise me. Yeah? It may surprise you, but it is not surprising to me. Yeah? Because I can't see. Let me see. Emlyn Pierre, she ain't signed it. She ain't passed that into law. You had Mr. Nolan Cox, he never signed that, put it into law. And Kate Skeeter, Louis Peters, she never signed that and put it into law. But Ron Redhead come and he know better than everybody who was there before. So he come and sign to enact it. Yeah? They have a secretariat. Yeah, they have a secretariat. But where is the council itself? It's supposed to be made up of members, chief executive officer and all that sort of thing. Where are they? And where are the parish councils? Anybody know of an active, properly formulated parish sports council right now that they could call and say, well, we have an active parish sports council in this parish. We have a caller online. Good night.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, my dear. Go right ahead. You're live.
Yes, what I want to find out.
How would the Jaguar, Grenada's ambassador, when he come on holiday, where would he go practice or exercise?
Well, as I said, they're putting it in law. I want to see them enacted. It'll be
And
interesting to
then
see them enacted.
It seems like everybody would have to have their own playing field, maybe cut up some land and make their own pasture.
My friend, I think they need to rethink this. They need to rethink this. They need to withdraw this. Take what I'm telling you. They need to withdraw that. Really and truly, and get some people with sense to design and put something in place with them. Yeah? Because one, you have to ask yourself, now what will the role? Because already, all the Imani trainees are coming out of that ministry. Remember the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. All the Imani trainees are coming out of that ministry and going under the National Training Agency, a statutory body. The Ministry of Youth will no longer have responsibility for those people who were under the Imani program. No matter how much of them that left, because a lot gone, they will no longer be under the Ministry of Youth. So, Ron Redhead and the crew don't have to worry about them. They go into the National Training Agency. They will have full responsibility for them. Outside of that now, you have, what do they do with all the coaches, all of the groundsmen, for instance? Because now, remember, the facilities are the responsibility now of the National Sports Council. It means that the groundsmen and the facilities managers and so on for all these different facilities, they will now be directly under the control of the Sports Council, not the ministry. The ministry kind of washing its hands of responsibility for all these things. Yeah? So the maintenance of the playing field, that's the cutting and so on, all of that would go under the National Sports Council again. And you see these things happening. These ministers just signing things without watching what they're signing, without thinking about what they're signing, or looking at what the possible implications of what they're signing are. So you had LACO went and signed the Allied Healthcare one. Yeah? That we ain't hearing nothing about right now, but the barbers, the hairdressers, the nail techs, the masseuse, all of these people, remember, they will be committing a criminal offense within the next few weeks if they operate without being properly certified and licensed. Right? Unless they've extended the time. I haven't heard. Have you all heard anything about the time in relation to that being extended? I don't know, but these people are just signing things without going through it properly. Come on, it's human beings you're dealing with. Read the thing now. We have a caller online. Good night.
Hey, Sheldon.
Yes.
I don't think them people they didn't say it's everybody, you know. They say anybody of salt. Anybody that can do this thing.
I'm trying to catch. No, you're speaking about the part about assaulting? Hello? Okay, I think they lost me there. What the part says is it says assaults any members, officer, or servant of the council. So anybody who is a member of the council who is working on behalf of the council. All right, so that includes the guys who are doing the playing field and all those things who will be now under the council. But I'm saying, was it necessary to place that under this act when there is already a law in place in the state of Grenada regarding assault? So you're creating a situation where the individual could be charged twice, because it could be charged under this act. They can be charged as well as under the criminal code, they can be charged. Where, in my mind, you didn't need to put that in here because there's already a law in Grenada in relation to assault. There's already a law in Grenada in relation to that under the criminal code of Grenada. So you need to put another law in place for the same thing? Does it specify what assault is? As I say, talking to somebody and shoving up your hand in the face, like you're shoving your hand in the face and so, in some instances may be considered assault, you know. Yeah? What if it's a verbal assault? Assault is assault. What if it's a verbal assault? Yeah? So, I mean, come on. There needs to be not clarity. They need to withdraw this and come again. That is, as far as I am concerned, they need to withdraw that and they need to come again. That's as far as I am seeing it. 440-7377. We have roughly about 6 minutes remaining on tonight's program. 440-7377.
I never knew scholar was a pastor. Pray for me in the looks in Lima. But like he forget to remember to pray for himself in the Masgra. Last year the man said he retire. Then he gonna walk with cats and stunner. But he say he gets so old and riven. Now they calling him number 7. Sing a parang for us. Boss a parang for us. They say you boss in your boss. So boss a parang for us. Sing a parang for us. Boss a parang for us. Yes, man.
Yes, indeed, 440-7377.
Number 7.
Well, they could come and say what they want, and if they want to say that are lies. I had a law. I had the act. It was there since 2012. This was passed early up in 2012. Because remember what happened in 2012? The parliament was closed at a particular time because they were afraid that if they opened the Parliament of Grenada, they would face a second no confidence motion, etc. But this was passed before that, but it was never enacted. And during the NNP time, it was never enacted. We have a call online. Good night.
Yes, good night.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so you have people who are bound to pass through the playing field to get to their home. What happened with that?
Yeah, well, we've discussed that one. So that's why speaking about the boundary and so on. Listen, this thing is so ill-conceived, is amazing. Just ill-conceived. Yeah? It's ill-conceived.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're really doing too much stupidness.
Well, maybe somebody expects something different.
I'm sure it's more, please God. Please God, no time short.
All right. Maybe somebody expects something else. Come on. Ron, what are we talking about today? All expect something different. Who signed? We could go and sign that. My goodness. I'm not laughing, but this thing is serious business. How you could really go and sign something like that? My goodness. Anyhow, 4407, you could take one quick one. One quick one we could probably take.
Hi, boy. Like that transformation have a course. Black folks start to ride on Granad's boss. But the one what really surprised me is when the black folks swim in DC. We tell them free ex-last election. Them folks seeking for compensation. A fella in Granad's jump and say, them fall and them searching for KJ. Sing a parang for us. Boss a parang for us. They say you boss in your boss. So boss a parang for us. Sing a parang for us. Boss a parang for us.
Yeah, folks, and message me anyhow you want me send the actual law to you. I'm willing to send it. So you don't just have to, Gavin, I know I will send it for you. You don't have to just take my word for it. You can read it for yourself. Read the act for yourself. Now, if they're putting that council in place, that fits of the members of the council need to be gazetted and all of that. I haven't seen anything like that. Right? So I'm still left to wonder what council is going to be active from 12 o'clock tonight. Is this just another means of them creating jobs for the boys? And again, when I say jobs for the boys, you have to remember it does only be jobs for certain boys. Yeah, it does be jobs for certain boys and certain girls. It doesn't be jobs for everybody. So jobs for certain boys and certain girls. All right? Or according to somebody, maybe they have a problem because it's green spaces. Maybe they have a problem because it's that. And the main question in all of this, outside of all the intricate things in relation to playing fields and facilities, because we know basketball court, the one attached down by the youth center there, fellas go there and they take the sweat on a Sunday and things sometime. Carnage basketball court, different basketball courts around the country. Guys go and take the sweat. Some guys, that's the exercise on an evening time. They go, they take a sweat, they play 3-on-3, different things like that, and they exercise. Right? That's how they keep fit and so. Right? now to do that, according to this, they would have to get the permission of the council to be able to do that, right? Is that really necessary? Is all of this really necessary? What mischief, and I'm using the legal term now, what mischief is this trying to correct? What mischief are they trying to correct with this? What has been happening that's so wrong that they're trying to correct with this one? Yeah? Because you often have to ask yourself when you're doing a law, what mischief are you trying to correct? What problem exists that you are trying to deal with by putting something in place? Right? And I'm saying that this one, nice to have it in writing. You could say it in order from midnight tonight. Good luck implementing it. Good luck. Yeah, just remember I said that. Good luck on them on implementing that one. I bet you they'll never get to arrest a single person on that data withdrawal. Let it go ahead. Folks, that's about all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. And in everything you say and everything you do, do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. We're on tomorrow night from 8 p.m. with more Talking Points for you. Have an interesting discussion for you tomorrow night as well on one or two issues, yeah? And as I said, anybody that's looking for the law, you could message me. I'll message it to you. All right? But that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here. I am out.
Hey, number 7 means morning. Hi, boy. Hey. Like that transformation have a course. Black folks start to ride on Grana's boss. But the one what really surprised me is when the black folks swim in DC. We tell them free ex last election. Them folks seeking for compensation. A fella in Grana's jump and say, them fall and them searching for AJ. Sing a parang for us. Boss a parang for us. They say you boss in your boss. So boss a parang for us. Sing a parang for us. Boss a parang for us. What's up around for us as a tribute to Douglas? Yes, man. Them for one compensation. Hey, hey. No more free. Ever you fall swim? Hey, boy. Trouble in the south. So said the boy like plenty drama. Said the PM love rainbow color. He say he's to see how the man pose with a collar socks in Barbados. I say well do discuss that to me. Tell it to the press secretary. Said he I feel you had a bad dream. Oh you want some nutmeg ice cream? Sing a parang for us. Boss a parang for us. They say you boss in your boss. So boss a parang for us. Sing a parang for us. Boss a parang for us. What's up around for us as a tribute to Douglas? 31 scoop for you. And if you see Lake, tell him I'll give him half scoop. Darius, I'll give you 4 scoop. NDC has some young fat bowlers, so them fellas bowling some bouncers. Who ain't bouncing check, they bouncing van. Who ain't bouncing van, they bouncing man. And recently for carnival, even baby Jesus bounce a girl. They say he's a reckless driver, bounce the woman straight on she bumper. Sing a parang for us, boss a parang for us. They say you boss in your boss, so boss a parang for us. Sing a parang for us, boss a parang for us. What's up around for us as a tribute to Douglas? Well, be careful, you know, they say the pitch taking pace. The pitch taking pace. Shot pitch, shot pitch. Right now I'm docking. Watch it now. Hey. When you see this out of schoolie, tell him not me what take a lady. Tell him Smalax is not a Rasta, and I'm not living in Libera. But who cannot hear they going to feel Rasta take a woman in goat hill. But the one what well puzzling me, both of them camping for NDC. Sing a parang for us, boss a parang for us. They say you boss in your boss, so boss a parang for us. Sing a parang for us, boss a parang for us. What's up around for us as a tribute to Douglas? Yes, man. Tell my coolie friend, don't worry. What a patient. You might get back. You might get back. Hey, Rasta you tell boy, donkey you cake, or donkey you pumpkin. Crafo in Tivoli, he crying, said he walk with excellent chicken. Don't know what to do or what to say. Moi make nice, moi and get pay. But he say what make him get harassed. Saiba fit a bouquet of flowers. Make him real mama gizom. Rock it for him wife in tourism. Sing a parang for us. Boss a parang for us. They say you boss in your boss. So boss a parang for us. Sing a parang for us. Boss a parang for us. What's up around for us as a tribute to Toddlers? Pay your bill, brother, pay your bill. The man of responsibility too, you know. The man of children, the man of wife, the man of a life. Pay your bill, brother. Hey, you on Facebook making